There you go. Hi, good evening, everyone, for those who are in the Philippines. And for those in the US, good morning.
Good
I am so
morning.
glad that Roslyn is here with me today. So, Ross, before I ask you a lot of questions today, I would just like to, I have a little PowerPoint presentation for everyone to see.
Okay.
And let me share that. If if there's a mistake or something, you call my attention, okay?
Okay, because this is the first time I'm going to be seeing it, correct?
Yes, this is the first time because the last time that I gave it to you, you cannot open it for some reason.
Right.
Right. So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
All right, good. Well, everyone knows me. My name is Rochefel Rivera from Professional Virtual Assistants, and I also used to be in the corporate for more than 11 years. I've also tried a lot of businesses, including multi-level marketing, but I guess those businesses are not for me. And right now, I'm a virtual assistant. And you might be wondering who is Roslyn Tanner Evans and what's her story. So this is she. Her name is Roslyn. She's 75 years old right now. She blogs regularly. She's a jeweler, and she's wearing one in the picture. She's a retired career counselor who worked with unemployed professionals for the New York State Department of Labor for more than 30 years. And the reason why I'm telling you about her is that to remind you of your dreams, to remind you that you have to hold on to your dreams and do something about it to make it a reality. We have to we have to live our dreams, not just dream of it. Okay? And how do we connect Roslyn to online entrepreneurship and living your dreams? Well, I would just like to show you Roslyn's Facebook account first, just to show you that she is a real person and she's here with me right now. And she let me tell her story to inspire more people into achieving their dreams and your dreams, our dreams. This is what I do every day. I'm a virtual assistant and I take care of my kids while doing my work. We're also homeschooling, so you can also see in the background and in this picture what we do every day, the clays and all the artworks. Here she is, my daughter, my little girl. And of course, this is my workstation. All right, so I'm a virtual assistant, and I also help other new and aspiring VAs to get inspired every day, get motivated, and guide them into starting their business, their virtual assistant business, the right way. Okay, and let's go back to Roslyn. I met Roslyn in a Facebook group. It is a syndication group to promote each other's content in social media that increases each other's engagement. And of course, bottom line is to support each other with what we do, regardless of what kind of business, as long as it's online. So primarily in social media and in blogging. And Roslyn, or Ross, was 65 years old when she retired from her job in New York City's Department of Labor. She was joining groups, studying here and there to pass the time, and looking for something that she can do until she found a workshop on beads making and fell in love with it. So Ross initially made the jewelry as a hobby until she realized that she wanted to make it available for public and sell them. And then just a few years ago, she learned computer and social media. I actually listened to one of her interview in a radio station where she shared that she initially started learning computer from copying and pasting from the Word document, and she spent hours and hours to learn how to do it, including the marketing, and of course she's been watching a lot of webinars as well, just like what we do as well. So this is a sample of brass jewelry. I like this one. This is the green one, and she also started blogging in 2012. And I also remember, Ross, when you told me that when you die in your tombstone, you want to put in there that I'm all used up. I like that. I like that because despite of your age, you're really doing a lot of things, and you are really you keep on reinventing yourself with the businesses that you have in right now with the blog. And when you also said that you cannot fake passion, I can feel that in everything that you do. And in fact, that's the reason why I was inspired by you and by your work. And that's why we're here today to share those inspiration that I felt from you to everyone that's listening and that will be watching this interview today. And this is one of my favorites, Ross. This is the beads that I love, the jewelry that I love so much because maybe I love the color combination, the green, purple, and I love it. I love how you made this one. All
So,
right. So,
Rochelle, may I just make one correction?
oh
Um,
yes, thank you.
actually, an addition,
Uh-huh.
because we didn't bring it out that much in our conversation, and
Mhm.
it is that my daughter makes jewelry with me as well. So we have two different collections. And as I see some of the images of our pieces that you have chosen to show here, some of them are the ones that she has made, and some of
Oh,
them are ones that I have made.
oh
So
yes.
her collection, that's Beth. Yes. Wow,
Yes,
where
this
did
is
you
actually
find
her.
Beth? How did
I found her. I
you
did a
know?
lot of research.
I haven't seen that picture of her. That's a beautiful picture of her.
She
That's,
is, in fact. She looks like you too.
thank you, but I have never even seen that image of her. How lovely.
Well, I'm glad you did that here in the interview for the first time. Well, for everyone, this is Beth Rose Tanner. She is Roslyn's daughter, and she is the partner in everything that Ross is doing her jewelry collection. And as Ross said, that she designs. They have two different designs in the jewelry collection, and she designs most of the picture that I showed you earlier today. And
But,
this is their mother and daughter bonding moment.
right. And, the green necklace that you showed
Yep.
earlier, I just sold that one the other day, and that was one that I had made. Beth likes to
Oh.
work with flowers, like this is one of Beth's collections.
Hmm.
Um, she works with lucite flowers, and she actually paints them. That's the one that's in the radiant orchid, and she makes
Oh.
lariats. A lot of lariats is one of her favorite designs, the most popular designs.
Wow, I love it. Well, anyway, if anyone wants to check out more of Roslyn and Beth's design, you can go to their website, theearthandmoondesign.com, and they're also in Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. All right, now let's start. Let me unshare my screen now so I can show everyone Roslyn there. All
I
right.
love your enthusiasm.
Thank you so much. Ross, I would love to ask you one question, or a lot of questions actually. I have prepared a lot of questions here, but for the first one, can you tell us how you started with your business? I know that I've already told everyone a little bit more about you, but it's different when it's coming from your mouth directly.
Okay. I was retired home for about a couple of years, and I was always taking classes and courses. I loved ongoing growth. I think that's what helps keep me young. And I just saw a 2-hour class in how to make jewelry, so I took it, and I was mesmerized by the beads. I always was someone who loved to go to craft shows and appreciated handmade things. I never bought an earring or a necklace from a jewelry store. I always
Wow.
bought them from people, from other artists. And so when I took this class, I had no idea that I would be somebody who would be able to make it. It was something that I discovered. It wasn't in that just the 2 hours, but the 2-hour class led me to start investigating and making purchases, from my local craft store and discovering from comments and compliments that other people made that I seemed to have a very good eye for the design. And honestly, all my life was a people person. I was not a crafts person or somebody who thought that they were artistic. You know, that was not a word I would have applied to myself. So that whole first year that I was sort of developing my hobby, it was somewhat of a big surprise to me.
Wow. And it really is very beautiful, all of your collections, especially your daughters as well. So you kind of complement each other too.
Yes, because my designs seem to appeal to women who go to work, you know, who wear a little more tailored clothing, and they just want necklaces that highlight and enhance their outfit and their own natural beauty. And Beth's neck jewelry, they're more like great parties and funky and fun and you know, a little. That's why she named her designs. Her collection is called Etheria because it is sort of. It's a lot of imagination. So we have very practical, earthy side on my end, and ethereal or moon on her end. That's how we came to our name.
Earth and Moon Design. Yes, that's very nice name for you to come up with. Ross, what are the struggles that you had when you were starting, to learn the technology after you've decided that, hey, I think I want to bring this business online? How did you come up with that decision, and what were the struggles that you had back then?
Sometimes life makes things happen for you. Although we had always had a website, it really wasn't a real website. It was a shopping cart that we had created through, you know, some templates. And we were using it, but mainly we were selling live at craft shows so that people came to us and they could try on. But after 6 years of it, I was, no matter how young I feel, my body was not staying that agile. And going to craft shows is difficult. You know, it's you're setting up very, very early in the morning. It's a tremendous amount of equipment you have to bring with
Oh,
you, set up
yes.
posts, and it just got harder and harder to do. And then you're dealing with elements of weather. We did one of the show in rain and storms. It was terrible. So we just decided to stop. We'll still do a few special craft shows around holiday time that are indoors, but we knew that we had to have a real professionally made website. And so it was costly, but I had to we chose to hire a web developer. She come highly recommended to me. And even though we launched in November of 2013, we're still tweaking the site. Things keep coming up, and we finally settled on our final color code. Um, but it was my web developer who told me I had to start blogging once a week, that's part of social media marketing. It's part of having a website. And that was hard. I mean, although I always did some writing, I used to write in rhyme, and I couldn't really keep writing blogs. I never even tried to do a blog on rhyme. Maybe I'll do that. But we're just coming up with topics and content. I didn't want it to just be, my blogs to just be about selling my jewelry. I wanted to offer like educational and content information. So I now have, which I resisted, you talk about what are the hard parts. I don't like being too organized. It doesn't come that easy. So I resisted setting up an editorial calendar, but I now have one, and I've coordinated that with a holiday calendar and with an action calendar, and so, you know, all that is left for me to do regarding that is to look at it. You know, like you can have your to-do list, but if you don't look at it, things don't get done.
Oh, yes. Mine is big, Ross. If you can see it here, Here it is. Here's my calendar. It's on top of my table, so I'm forced to see it every day. So I don't
Right.
have a choice. And I feel like I cannot do something if it's not written. So it's also very important to keep us going every day and keep our day planned and organized.
I agree. I agree completely. Because, what I learned also in social media, I might start off on Facebook. And I look to see if people wrote something on some of my posts, and I write back. But then there's like somebody might post their blog or a link to an article. So I click that, and then I'm off reading, and then that leads me to something else. And an hour later, I forgot where I started. That's what happened.
Correct. In fact, it's not only you who's experiencing that, also me, and of course I will be, I'm sure that everybody who's in social media experience that overwhelming, information in social media, in the news feeds, and I also experience that. So what I normally do is I just go to the groups that I need to go to, and then I respond to the comments. And as much as possible, I don't look at anything else unless I'm finished with everything. And then I make sure that I list down everything that I need to do, and then I check them all out before I go to the next task. For example, if I am going to write another email or a blog or something else, I make sure that I'm finished or I'm done with all the social media tasks for the day before I move on to the next one. And it's really hard, especially if you see, perhaps a video that you like, or a picture, or a blog, an article that you really want to read. It's really hard to keep focus, especially when you're in Facebook.
And that's why you're the virtual assistant and I'm not.
Thank you, Roslyn. Who was helping you, by the way? Aside from your website developer, you told me you had a coach, right?
Well, I use my website developer. Her name actually is Kitty Walker, and she comes from the UK. So just like you and I, we've done a Skype session, we're doing a Hangout. With her, I think we do WebExes once a week. So she actually has become I would say my coach, because we're constantly working through. We just added an opt-in to the website, and that took forever to plan it out, to decide what to go in it, and so on. I have
And
someone.
I'm surprised you know opt-ins.
I have someone else that I met who actually was a person who recommended Kitty Walker to me. And she has a Facebook page. Her name is Carrie, and I never could pronounce her last name, but her Facebook page is Idea Media Girl. And she is wonderful at gathering content. And I joined her group a long time ago, and it was a beautiful story. If I could take a minute, I used to comment a lot on her posts because she always linked great content, and that's what I would read, and that's how I started getting more interested in social media and learning. And then one day, to my surprise, she named me Facebook Fan of the Week. She just started doing something like that, and I was like, whoa, and she asked me a bunch of questions, kind of like you. She interviewed me, and every day she posted about me. And before I knew it, my page was growing, and she did a wonderful thing for me. She really got me going. And we're almost at the end of a year where she has, at that time, I'm just going to backtrack. At that time, she was like, I made her my informal mentor, because I was learning the most through her posts. And we're just coming to the end of a year where she became my formal mentor. So I had her and my web developer, Kitty, and for very technical things where I get very hung up, I'm fortunate in that my son is a computer technologist, has whatever he does there. But he'll when I send him a text, help, he'll clear his calendar at night. He'll take over my computer remote, And like for some reason, I lost all my signature links on my email. So I'll send him a text saying I need your help, you know. And he does it remotely. Sometimes he taught me a lot of things by showing me how you do, but he does it all very fast. The other thing I want to say that makes it workable is that my daughter and I, we had to divide the responsibilities in the past. I mean, we both make jewelry inspired similarly and differently, but she has a wonderful artistic eye where she developed her photography skills. So she does beautiful photography of all of our images. And
Wow.
the other piece that she's responsible for is because when you sell, and I'm sure everyone listening knows this, when you're in e-commerce, people are accustomed to buying jewelry in person, you know, being
Yes.
able to touch and feel and try it on. So here
Mhm.
we are in e-commerce. How do we reproduce that experience? How do we have you get the same sense of what it would be like to wear this particular necklace? And the way it is done is with words. You know, the image is without question, you know, the most important, and we always post, you know, several views of it. But then the words, how it's described, how it makes you feel, and that's called copywriting. I mean,
Yes.
there were so many things that had to be learned. So she's responsible for the photography, copywriting, and then the product uploads. And I thought I got away easy. That I thought, okay, I'll do the social media marketing and the blogging. I think we have our time evenly split. You know, we both are, you know, there's so much we had to learn. You know, when we started, we didn't know about semi-precious beads and the stones and how to tell a better one from
From
junk,
the other. Mhm.
you know, and where to buy it from. We stopped after very shortly buying from local craft stores and went to craft shows, went to companies online. Um, I have to say, I'm amazed at how much I now know about gemstones and about beads and and about design and about color, you know, and it's been wonderful. It's very stimulating to always be learning, and on top of it, all the things that I've had to learn about social media marketing. That I'll never catch up on that, you know. You know. So, but it gets me up every morning. I'm excited every day. I meet people like you, I fall in love with, um, you know, and you know, I'm thrilled. I'm really very thrilled with the direction how my life is going.
See, in fact, I was gonna ask you who's doing the photography because I myself fell in love with the images that you put in your website and how those jewelries are presented. So I don't know anything about art. I don't have an artistic, what do you call this, instinct, but I know how to look a beautiful piece and a beautiful artwork. So what you have done, both of you and your daughter, are an example of something that is made out of passion and out of love, and not just created just because you wanted to finish one and sell it off. It's
Correct.
it's it's
Because
really
you know
something.
why? I will tell you. I always have trouble because my name is Roslyn. You're Rochefel. Um, um, You just said something, and see, the only disadvantage of my age is I have these senior moments. Like I had a thought I wanted to share with you, and then I just lost it. So,
You'll find it later, don't worry.
okay.
And also, how long did it take you to learn computer, social media, and blogging? That's what I'm always curious about. How did she learn everything, and how long did it take you to do that?
Actually, it really, I just simple things like copy and paste. I just couldn't get it. I couldn't understand how complicated. To me, it was so complicated, and everybody would tell me it was the simplest thing. So I really I'd say a year that when I had to do copy and paste, I read from notes. Now I laugh, I look back. Um, there are many technical skills that I just can't master, and so whereas I've learned the strategy of different platforms, um, but I will say that my learning curve is getting better. Like I never understood about keeping multiple tabs open or how to have two windows side to side. Um, I didn't do I wasn't on a computer when I worked professionally. We really didn't use computers. And so I had to learn it from scratch. And I don't know what I had. I had Windows. But a year or so ago, my son was visiting, and my computer had crashed. So I flew him in for a visit, and we went. He said, "Mom, if you're going to buy a new computer, you have to go Apple."
Yes.
Went to the store, and he said, "As long as I'm here, I could set it up for you, et cetera, et cetera." And so little by little, I've had to learn my iMac, and it's daily. I would say daily that I am learning something how I do it. Um, you mentioned earlier about being part of groups, which has been invaluable. It's one of the ways I've learned. And one of the groups a new group I recently joined, they were doing whatever, Tuesday, and I had no idea how to, I knew how to post a tweet, but I didn't know how to find the tweet to then put that URL into the group, you know. So it's like this. Once you learn it, things are so simple. But it's like if you haven't had to do it, it was bewildering to me. So I asked, I said, how do you do this? And that's one of the things that I would pass on as so important in whether it be starting a new business or ongoing, like how to move a business forward. I have no hesitation to ask for help, to ask questions, to say, how do you do this? Where should I go? Oh, could you show me on your screen? Oh, do you have a tutorial? No, I didn't get it. Could we go back over it? And bottom line, I know you have this gene in you, and I'm sure all the people who are learning from you, I have it. We all want to help other people. It's like it's not all about me, me, me. It's like, yeah, I would like X for me, but what can I give to others? How can I support others? How could I help? So I have discovered, like, when I'm at a craft show, I see some people who are just starting out, and I go over to them and I befriend them and I give them all kinds of information and where they could go, and because why should people have to reinvent the wheel? And there are so many ways, things that I have learned how to do, and I see somebody in a group, let's say, it took forever. You say, how long? I still have trouble when I post a blog making sure that I'm putting the right URL in the right pin spot, that's the one I want. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
I love it. I love it. See, that's only a proof that you don't have to be a master of something, before you start a business, because you can learn everything on your way. It's a daily struggle that you have to do. We all have to do if we're really into doing the business, and if we're really diligent enough to learn it and just do it the way we have to.
Correct.
Um, there is a question here. Did you did you like it, or you're just forced to learn it? This is my question, my follow-up question to the last one. Wherein, what are the struggles that you have when you were learning? Did you really like doing it, or you just forced to learn it? I mean, the technology and everything. Or are you enjoying it?
I can't say yes yet that I'm enjoying. It's mixed. Truly, it's mixed. When I learn it, I'm like ecstatic. Like when I get it, I'm like, oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Along the way, I do have a lot of frustration because I make mistakes. I hate to even confess, but the other day I had to change a setting, and I thought I knew what I was doing, and before you knew it, I deleted all my folders.
Oh.
Right. So we all gasped, and I went. I will tell you what has shifted. In the past, if I had done that even 2 or 3 years ago, I would have been running around like a crazy lady, screaming, being so angry with myself, and so on. This time, I had to laugh. I said, "Oh, I cannot believe I did this." But you know what? What I've learned about technology, there's got to be a way to get it back. You
Yes.
know? So I stayed calm. Now I haven't gotten it back yet, but I know it's there. So I will get it back. That's at the top of my list for this week.
Oh,
So
yes. I'm sure
me,
your son can help you out. Maybe it's in the
yes,
chat
exactly,
folder.
exactly. But me and technology, it's been a love-hate relationship. Um, it doesn't come easy to me. A lot of it doesn't make that much sense. But like I said earlier, when I see that I can do it, I'm like thrilled. And the one thing that has helped, aside from all the people who help me, is when I get very frustrated at what's not working, I stop and think about how much I have already learned and accomplished. And I
Yes,
say, you know what? If I can come this far, I know I can go further. And so that's what keeps me going.
that's very nice. That's very nice. In fact, I remember the first time I was teaching my stepfather how to copy and paste. I was teaching him how to do that, and he keep on asking me every time he wants to copy and paste something. So I grab a piece of paper. I wrote all the steps one by one. I wrote everything, and then I pasted it in front of his computer. And right now he mastered it after a few months.
Right.
So it's really hard to teach old people how to how to do the computer stuff, but then once they get the hang of it, they enjoy it. Right now he's also doing Facebook, so just like you, I am even telling them stories about you, that you're blogging and you're doing social media, and you're older than them, so you are an inspiration to them as well. And for sure I will be letting them watch this interview.
Okay.
And I know, Roslyn, that people are getting intrigued about you and inspired at the same time because of your passion at what you do, considering your age. What made you decide to keep on working when you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy your time with your husband, and don't do anything? I mean, what made you decide to move on and do something else again?
Um, as I said earlier, I've always been, I was a full-time working mom, raising 2 kids, and very involved in their schooling and their school activities. And so I learned how to juggle and multitask and be as efficient as possible with those things. So when it came to, and I loved my career. I loved getting up and going to work every day. I loved everything I did. And I had a lot of hobbies back then. I did folk dancing, and I belonged to groups, and
Ooh.
I just always had a very, very full. My plate was always full. Put it that way.
Yes, you've lived a full life and you're still living it.
Exactly, and that's what happened. I think that's the key. Is that when I retired, I missed having a full plate. I missed having, even though it's nice to say I could sleep late or I could just spend a day reading a book, but you know what else? I discovered that even with my business and having a really full plate, I still can do anything that I want as long as I manage it time-wise. Like my husband likes to go away once a month, and I promised him this is a second marriage for us, and it'll be 15 years. And I know you'll laugh, but part of my wedding vows was I promised him that I would manage, no matter how, he knew I was going to be a busy lady, that no matter how busy my life was going to be in the marriage, I would always put it on my calendar that we go away once a month. And I have kept my word to that. We have a large family between us, and we have a lot of celebrations and holidays that we do all together. I just make it work. I find I love having a stimulating life. You know, that's what's important to me, is being alive and vibrant. And now I just remembered, using that word vibrant, the thought that I wanted to inject earlier.
Yes.
And that is the thing about artistry and artisans making jewelry, is that there is a little piece of us that goes into every piece of jewelry that we make. We leave a piece of our personality, our thoughts. You might say the word soul. It's not just like, oh, grab a bunch of beads and string it and
put them together.
Yeah, it's really a lot of thought and design element, and our taste, our preferences. A lot of us goes into it, so that when a customer is wearing it, they're wearing a little piece of us.
That's nice. That's very nice. Very well said. I know you've been very successful in your life, and you've been happy, and you've been, you've been doing everything that you want in life. In your successes in career and family life, what other successes that you still want to achieve right now, and why?
Well, our online business is less than a year old, and it has not gotten anywhere near the kind of traffic on a daily basis that ultimately is our goal. So that would be the main success. I mean, we're successful at selling and have been, in person. People see our jewelry and fall in love with it. But as you know, building an e-commerce site takes a tremendous amount of activity and traffic. And so we are, making some sales online, but if we stop now, it wouldn't sustain us. So that's the success that I'm looking for. And the same, I'd say, is true about my blogs. Mostly the people who read my blogs are people in groups, and they have not yet gotten huge subscription from other readers. And as I said earlier, we just created an opt-in on the website. So I would love to build my email marketing list, where more people are willing to give me their email as an entree to not only purchasing a necklace at a discount, but to our VIP membership. Most of the people currently on our marketing list were people who had been customers, having met us at a crafts fair. And now I want to build my list from people, from across the country, and a couple of states that we, other places we can ship to. So really, I hate to think of it as like I'm in year one, but for e-commerce, I am in year one. And so I'm really building a business, not completely from scratch, but it feels like that sometimes. So the success that I want is that when, let's put it this way, and I like that question because it's making me think. What I would love is that if you put into, let's say, not even a year from now, but by the holidays, because I'm going to be doing a lot of holiday marketing, you put into a Google search, handmade beaded necklace, I want to be on page 1.
That's right, that's right. And I know what you need to be learning next is SEO, search engine optimization. And that also goes with your blogging. You have to learn how to optimize your blog in an SEO friendly manner. So I've been writing a couple of blogs about that. So I will be sending you a couple of links so you can read them and learn from them. Hopefully, I can also help you out in some of your SEO needs. I can do a free, what's that? SEO report for your website, Roslyn. So after this one, we can talk about that as well.
Okay. I will just tell you that the reason, there are so many people, professionals out there, that the reason I hired the web developer I did is because her specialty is SEO.
Oh,
So
that's
for
great.
months and months and months, we didn't worry about it. She was taking care of it. But little by little, she's been cluing us in and teaching us. So every blog, I do my keyword research. We do that in the copywriting for every product. So I would love a report, because we'll see
Yes.
how we're doing. But SEO, it's like she hasn't paid that much attention to my Pinterest, and now I'm tweeting, and I haven't paid a lot of SEO attention to those two platforms, but they're important. It's important.
It
Um, you know,
is. It
it's
has to
like
be in Pinterest and in Instagram because your product is very visual. So you
I
have to
have
be
not
there.
taken on Instagram. I can't do, I already have, like I'm on my fourth platform. I just don't get, there's just so much that well, I know I'm stumbling because I've had a conflict about Instagram. I know it would make sense, but something I learned a while ago, and I think you even said it in something I read of yours, you have to you can't take on every platform all at once. And I
Yes.
was doing that. In the very beginning, I was doing that, and I was getting so jumbled up. I didn't know what I was doing. So I
Yes.
backed off and I focused on Facebook, and then I focused on Pinterest because those were two visuals. And then I added the blogging, and now I'm adding tweeting. And the reason I'm hesitating about Instagram is I didn't want to put the same images that I have on those platforms there, and you still have to build up followers. So it just seemed like it's duplicating whatever I was already doing. I could be wrong about it, but I'm not ready to, I need to get more comfortable with tweeting and Twitter.
And your daughter can do the Instagram for sure because she can take good pictures. The good thing about Instagram is that you can take pictures and it will automatically be uploaded in the platform. So if she's using an iPhone, she can just easily snap a picture of anything and then it will easily be uploaded there. You don't
Yeah.
have to do it manually.
I
That's a
hate,
good thing.
I have to tell you, confession, she wants nothing to do with social media marketing. So that's why it would be up to me. I'm not doing the photography, so Instagram wouldn't work as easily for us as it would for somebody else.
Oh yes, you can take your time, so don't worry much about it. There is Pinterest here if you're already in Pinterest and in Facebook. That will be fine for now. You don't have to overwhelm yourself with everything. If it will just um, give you a headache for for every day that you're doing your business. So just relax a bit and take it slow.
Thank you.
Would there be any advice that you can give, Rosin, for all the moms out there, especially those who want to start something new, but they're scared or they don't know what to do?
Yeah, I would say they should seek some professional guidance. If they could get it for free, great.
Yes.
Um, but they should certainly have some professional, whether it be a mentor or someone who they know who has done XYZ, the same kind of thing that they want to do. They should read as much as possible, um, and have some kind of plan in mind, like where they're going to start, how they're going to start, what they could get done on a daily basis. And ultimately, I think that my own success is because I am very, couple of words come to mind. I'm very persistent. You know, I just don't let go until I know where to go, what to do, and I'm consistent. You know, I post 4 times a day to Facebook. Um, I schedule it when I'm going to be away. I blog weekly. I pin something every day. I'm in a number of groups where I do those tasks every day. I'm very consistent with what I'm doing so that it helps with my branding. I think a lot of people already know my new business name. They all knew my other one, my Beads by Roz name, but Earth and Moon Design is getting out there. Um, and, you know, they should, whatever it is, they should love, really love either their product or what it is they're going to be doing. Because if you're not in love with what it is, I mean, honestly, I was not a big jewelry person. I was not like somebody who had to wear gold and diamonds and silver, but I always loved the natural element of beads. Um, and I love beads. It's like opening a treasure chest. You know, they're just beautiful. I look at them and I just can't believe that they've been made. You know, and that some of them came from stones from the earth. You know, so I love what I do, and that to me is so important. And the last piece is why social media marketing is a good fit for me. I am, as you could tell, not just a talker, but I am very social. You know, I love people and I love interacting and I love learning about them, communicating with them. And so I know I have found a good fit. And that would be my parting advice to someone is, and hopefully that what it is that they want to do, that there is a need. If I had to say the only what's that expression, fly in the ointment, is that no woman needs more jewelry. No woman needs another necklace. It's really a luxury item, but because we have a range in our price point, we make it affordable for women who do want to enhance how they look, and we don't break the bank while they're at it. You know, so that although they may say I don't need it, it is something that they'll say, I really would love to have this, or I would love to buy it to give as a gift to my sister, my friend, my mother, my mother-in-law, because I know she would love it. So, you know, but if you had a product that's in demand, I think it makes a smoother, faster growth. Like that's why you should be able, I think virtual assistants are going to be in demand. Because as a business person, I can't keep up by myself. You know, I need to generate more income to be able to hire someone like you. But virtual assistants will be in demand. And certainly social media professionals are in demand because they're the ones who are teaching us. So they are very much in demand. Yep. That's my advice.
I love it. I love how you put everything in order. Like you plan what you need to do, what you want to do. You have to set your goals first, and you have to be consistent and do it every day. Be persistent in everything that you do. Schedule everything. Do you post directly via Facebook or Twitter, or do you use Twitter? Hootsuite for that matter.
I post directly to Facebook, and I'm just starting to use Buffer for Twitter.
Buffer. Wow, I'm really impressed. And the weekly blog and the pins and the branding. And it's really very important that we should love what we should be doing, because if we don't love what we do, we would always feel like it's like a toil on us. it's like a work that's so heavy that we can hardly do every day. There's no smile in our face, and there's no energy in our body that naturally comes out whenever we have to do something, right?
Correct. Absolutely.
So it really has to be a good fit. Thank you so much, Roslyn. I already have used all my questions for you, but if in case Chris and Teboy or anybody else has a question, Chris, do you have any question for Roslyn? I know that she has also inspired you as much as she did to me. So if you have any question, you can ask her now. I will unmute you if you want, or you can just type your question here. If you can see what she's typing here, Roslyn, she just said that she's so lucky that she's met you, and she just loves you so much.
Thank you. I see her smiling a lot, and I say, oh, good. You know, I see it making her happy. Well, I wish them both tremendous success with what they learn. I will say that always being open to learning is one of the most important steps in how to live life. You know, there's an expression, life is not a dress rehearsal.
Yes.
You know, we only have one life to live. And so how we spend it every day is so important. And sometimes we have to change course. You know, we have to redirect. But to be able to get pleasure out of every day and what you do with your time every day, I think is a very important ingredient in how to live life.
It really is. In fact, with everything that we do, we have to enjoy our life. Even just sipping your cup of coffee in the morning, having breakfast with your husband, with your kids.
Did you notice that my husband brought me my cup of coffee?
I did. I did see him.
I've been sipping my coffee during this interview.
Oh, I'm jealous. I didn't see him. You should have introduced him to us so we can see him.
Oh, well, you know, when we got married 15 years ago, he'd had no idea how to make coffee, and I taught him. And I said to him that this was an important thing for me, because he was retired and I was still driving an hour to get to work and over a bridge with heavy traffic. So I said, if I'm going to ever get out the door on time, I'm going to need a cup of coffee by the side of my bed to wake me up. And I taught him, and so that's what he did until I retired. Now he brings my coffee to me at the computer.
Is he brewing it?
We use that Keurig, that K-cup, you know, the individual kind of thing that makes a single cup.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so, you know, it's easy.
I love to be there one time so I can also taste his coffee and have coffee with you.
You come anytime you come to the States, let me know. I'll pick you up at the airport.
I would love to, Roslyn. I'd have to save up on that. So that means I have to kick my own butt and get ready for work.
Okay. This has been delightful. It's really been delightful. I enjoyed it. Oh, here he is. Wait, hurry up,
Oh,
They want to meet you. Can you see him? Move over a little.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Hello, glad to meet you.
Oh, me too. I'm so happy that you are there with Roslyn. And I would love to taste your coffee one day.
I look forward.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Roslyn, I would just like to take this opportunity to thank you very much for allowing this interview with me and your husband to be with us tonight or this morning in your time. We are very much happy that we had this opportunity to, share with your life stories and with your dreams, with your struggles and everything, and with your husband as well. We really thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know everybody that will be watching this interview will get a lot from you and will be very much inspired.
Thank you very much, Rochelle.
Thank you, Roslyn. You too, sir. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Ross.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
All right.